just 4 of the 200 Carey has amassed this year. You never tire of seeing those strikeouts, do you?
We ought to have a movie. Get all 300 of them back to back to back. I think that would probably be a great videotape collectible. Swing and a miss by Derek Bell, who, well, he's seen 6 pitches and he hasn't had much luck. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded to second. He's flied to center. And is 2 for 11 in this series. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. Wood bidding for number 201 right here on the year. Of course, the strikeout leader in the National League.
Mr. Schilling has how many?
Mr. Schilling has struck out 233.
Carey's knocking at the door, and Kurt has had a few more starts. So Carey is averaging for starters more strikeouts per 9 innings than anyone, I do believe.
12.5 per 9. Schilling 10.2. Hideo Nomo just under 10. Kevin Brown just under 9 strikeouts a game. Those are the top 4 strikeouts per 9 inning men in the National League.
And it'll be Nomo going against Omar Dahl in a game the Cubs will be very interested in tonight in Arizona.
Strike 3 call. 8 strikeouts. Bell knew it too.
That was a knee buckler once again, and I think Derek Bell's going to be real happy when he doesn't have to see Kerry Wood anymore. And there is a couple of flamethrowers, one right at the beginning of his career and the other, if not at the end. He's got a few more years left, but he knows exactly what Kerry is going through. However, the one difference, Randy Johnson never had close to the same command that Kerry Wood has at the tender age of 21 years old.
No question. No question about that. But Randy does have a Cy Young Award and hopes to pitch in a World Series this year with the Houston Ball Club. By the way, our buddy Tommy Brenneman with Bob Brenly will be working that game down at the Bank One Ballpark tonight. Flew back from Los Angeles with Tom yesterday. It was raining in Phoenix, if you can believe that.
This is the monsoon season.
Yes, it was.
Rains in the evenings usually.
And it rained a lot. And I enjoyed a nice long delay before getting to Houston about 3 o'clock in the morning.
But for you, that's good.
That is pretty
you're young, you're strong, and you're spunky. And that combination allows you to come here and work under duress.
No question. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 9. It'd be nice if Omar Dahl can do some of that to the Mets later on. Wood has been magnificent. Needs some offense to come to life in a 1-1 game after 6. Tie game as we head to the 7th inning. A huge crowd on hand today. 52,199. The Astros with a franchise record attendance for this 3-game series, and a high drive toward right that Derek Bell's going to corral for out number 1.
Well, Henry just got under that, and it was the off-speed pitch that fooled him. As Derek looked straight up. During the daytime, sometimes it's easy to lose those towering fly balls here. That's the one big advantage you have if you're a home player.
Well, how about this pitching duel today?
It's been a dandy. Strikeouts very similar. Kerry has the 1 walk, and the big column that counts, it's 1-1 as we head into the top of the 7th. And Kerry has found the magic here in Texas.
Has he ever? He's been throwing that high fastball, and the Astros have been swinging right through it. Lance Johnson, the batter. 1 ball, no strikes. 149,242 paid to see this 3-game series in Houston. The former franchise record was held way back in August of 1966 when Sandy Koufax and the Dodgers came a-calling. They drew 142,000 for that 3-game affair. So first place, the Cubs, Kerry Wood, Steve Stone, and Beanie Babies was the key to the attendance-breaking 3-game date in Texas.
This is the biggest attendance of the series to see Kerry.
A roller towards second. Johnson will be retired for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down in the 7th. And friends, our next telecast of Cubs baseball It should be home run derby again. At least we hope it will be. Big Mac and the Cardinals, Sammy and the Cubs, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central, with WGN carrying the ball game. Our pitching matchup, Steve Traxel against Kent Merker in game 1 from the friendly confines. Beach ball's gotten free out in right field.
And the Cardinals last night did something that they did to the Cubs in extra innings. They tied it up twice with late home runs before finally winning it.
There's Ray Langford too.
And Brian Jordan. So they're not getting much pitching, but they are getting a lot of hitting from Jordan and Langford. They've been red hot since the break.
So that ought to be a fun series as well, as Jose stands in and looks at ball 1. He has struck out twice today.
And I hope that Bergman misses with one of those fastballs to Jose. He has neutralized him with his breaking ball in both at bats and mystified him twice.
1-0. Evens the count. Minor milestone today for Mark McGwire. No home runs in his 5,000th career at bat today with the Cardinals. Tallied a base hit for St. Louis. They're battling the Pirates at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And the Cardinals losing 3-1.
Well, he kept it going. There was 2 outs in the 9th, and he came up with nobody on, got a base hit to keep the inning alive. And they tied it up and later won it late.
1-2. The pitch sails outside. Our senior producer director of Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. Today's game produced by John Walgren. Our associate producer is Pete Toma. Our coordinating producer is Kim Fields, and the executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Vorwald. 2-2. 2-3. 8 strikeouts for Bergman. Jose has struck out 3 times in the ball game. To the 7th inning stretch we go. They'll be throwing popcorn and Cracker Jacks to the fans here at the Astrodome.
Sorry.
The 24-ounce six-pack, only from Pepsi.
A little help, please, buddy.
After being bribed with popcorn and Cracker Jacks during the 7th inning stretch, welcome Moises Alou into the batter's box, leading off the 7th. A 1-1 game as we look at who's cleaning up in baseball, brought to you by Hoover.
Home run leaders over the last 10 days, and the Cubs certainly helped out Moises Alou. He's got 7. The Big Cat has 5, and he's tied with Kent, Anderson, and Mo Vaughn. And that's who's cleaning up for Hoover.
1 ball, no strikes. Slider bounced towards short. 3 hopper to Blauser. Has to unload quickly because Alou runs pretty well. 1 away here in the 7th inning. Well, this was a very important start for all the reasons we mentioned for this Cub team. Needing to finish the road trip on a positive note. Needing to come back and rally, put a little pressure back on the Mets. And certainly from an individual standpoint, there were a lot of questions about Kerry Wood's arm after his 2 performances in which he showed he was human. He's come back and has pitched a gem here in the Astrodome.
And he's had excellent stuff.
This has been the man, however, that's given him the most trouble. Everett's got 2 of their 3 hits.
And he's the man who scored the lone Astro run with the bullpen now up and going. Both a righty and a lefty in the pen. And as long as we don't see Billy Wagner, we'll be very happy.
No question. The 1-0 is low. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, you think this Astro team really helps Kerry Wood out. Predominantly right-handed balanced. Everett the switch hitter, the man that's given him the most trouble. Now it's 3-0.
I think that any time you face a lineup with 7 right-handers, if you have the kind of breaking stuff that Kerry has and can get it over the plate, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
The 3-0. And that's ball 4. A 1-out walk to Everett, who's been on base 3 different times now. Only the 2nd Wood walk in the game.
And he represents a go-ahead run. And now Magnante and Henry loosening up in the pen. So they're getting down closer to the spot occupied by Bergman. And they've gotten a whole lot out of him. Only 1 complete game for Bergman this year. And Sean has been awfully tough in this one. In his 21 starts, he's probably averaged around 6 innings per start.
So you've got the catcher in the batter's box, Eusebio. Let's see if he can hit the ball on the ground at somebody in the Cubs' turn 2. Ball 1 high from Wood.
Look down at Mike Cubbage to see what might be up. There is one out, but you got a pretty good base runner on in Everett, who's stolen 13 bases, but he's been caught 11 times and has an annoying habit, if you're an Astro fan, of getting picked off.
This will be pitch number 90 unofficially for Wood in the ball game. 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the 7th, 1-1 game. Blauser covering second, recovers in time to retire the catcher. They almost hit it into the perfect spot as Everett ran to keep out of the double play. Runner at second, 2 away.
The hit and run was on, and you're kind of happy that Eusebio put it in play because Everett had a very good jump. Good acceleration, and it's going to be a tough play. He looks back to see that contact was made, and Jeff Blauser is there to make the play. So Gutierrez with first base open, but you want to take care of him because you know they're going to go to the bench.
Where they have Clark, Osmus, Berry, Bogar, Hidalgo, and Pete Incaviglia working for Larry Dierker. So Gutierrez the batter, 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly and an RBI. That RBI made possible in part because of the Wood wild pitch on the ball 4 to Tony Eusebio back in the 5th inning. A 1-1 game in the 7th. Man at second, 2 men out. Gutierrez and the lone single against Carey May 6th. And Everett lurking too far off the bag is sent back diving in. Want to keep him as close as possible. He's got blazing speed.
Well, normally you wouldn't think about stealing third in this situation. It wouldn't benefit you that much, but it does with Kerry Wood on the mound because of the possibility of a wild pitch.
Swing and a miss. A ball and a strike from Gutierrez. Minnesota beat Boston today 6-3. Eric Milton the win. Detroit over Oakland 6-4. Toronto beat Anaheim 6-4. The Rangers battling the Yankees again. It's 5-5 in the 8th. The Rangers put a pasting on New York yesterday. Fastball outside corner of beauty. That baby was humming. 1-2.
A bullet of a fastball on the outside corner, and even though Tyler wanted it inside, it proves very effective on the outside corner.
And by the way, the White Sox have just jumped in front of the Mariners 4-3. They go to the 8th inning at Comiskey Park. So good news for White Sox fans. The pitch, bouncing ball right side. Grace got it. Late covering his Wood, but he gets there in time. And Gutierrez is retired, and so are the Astros. Nothing doing in the 7th. On we go to the 8th, where the lower third of the Cub order will bat in a 1-1 game.
Play. He didn't get the interception. They made the play.
From 35 yards out, he puts the Raiders on the scoreboard.
Eric Turner was there. He got the interception, made the Lambeau leap. Here's Charles Woodson here. Now watch the hit. He's going to come up here and hit Mays just as the ball gets there. It's knocked out of his hands, and there's Eric Turner taking it all the way to the Lambeau leap. Boom, boom, boom.
95 pitches unofficially in the ball game. He's had a terrific afternoon.
He's sailed right along, and his control has been very good today. 9
strikeouts, only 2 walks, as Houston looks at ball 1. Well, the Rookie of the Year race heating up again. Todd Helton of Colorado with an RBI single. Kerry Wood with 9 strikeout ball game. Again, Diamondbacks play later on tonight. Travis Lee will take his hacks against Hideo Nomo. We know who Tommy Brenneman thinks ought to be the Rookie of the Year. And we know who we think should be the Rookie of the Year. 2-0 is in for a strike. 2-1.
I got to believe that Helton and Travis Lee will split the votes that usually go to position players in the Rookie of the Year situation, and Rookie of the Year will be Kerry Wood in my estimation. He's had a remarkable year, and it continues.
Swing. 2-2. But isn't it funny how the game of baseball works? Last couple of seasons, we've seen so many great shortstops come into the game. Garcia Parra, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Renteria, Ray Ordonez. Now there's a whole generation of slugging first basemen coming along. Check swing roller foul. You've got Derek Lee coming on for the Florida Marlins. You've got Helton. You've got Travis Lee with Arizona. You've got the kids up in Montreal.
Brad Fulmer. And there's a young lady who has a souvenir and couldn't be happier. She has cotton candy derby, the Beanie Baby, and a souvenir.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Tyler Houston, who is 0 for 2, but has made 3 outs. He hit into a double play his first time. Got to meet Tyler's dad when the ball club was in San Francisco, and he was laughing. He said, "Bunt, Tyler, bunt."
Well, not this time, not with a 3-2 count. But you'd certainly love him aboard for Jeff Blauser, who is a pretty good hit-and-run man.
The payoff pitch. Breaking ball. Got it. 1 down. 9 strikeouts for Bergman. Wow.
Tyler with the 0 for 3 collar today, and on a 3-2 pitch, Bergman has the presence of mind to throw that good breaking ball. It's down and out of the zone. Tyler couldn't lay off, and that's a big first out in the 8th inning. Bergman knows that this is going to be his last inning of work, so whatever he's got left, he's going to show it to the Cubs. And now, with the first out of the inning already made, Karshner has taken a seat, and Kerry Wood will hit for himself. And at the 95 pitch mark, he should have a lot left.
By the way, that strikeout for Bergman matches his career high, which ironically came against Houston back in 1996. No balls and a strike to Jeff Blauser, who was popped to third and was struck out looking back in the 5th inning. A terrific ball game at the Dome in Houston. The 0-1 pitch. Back to the screen, foul again. 0-2.
The Astros really forced to revamp their starting rotation because they lost 60% of it from last year. Garcia and Holt lost for the year. Kyle went to Colorado, and there was a lot of concern about just exactly what they would do. So Vern Rule, the pitching coach, decided to take Lima out of the bullpen into the rotation. He's been terrific. Sean Bergman has come over. He's been a revelation as a starter here. And the addition of that tall fellow from Seattle has helped quite a bit.
No balls, 2 strikes. I think his name's Randy Johnson. I think that's the guy.
Is that it?
The big unit.
That fellow.
He's working the charts for he will pitch against the Phillies in the Astros' next ball game. They start their road trip against the Phils. A high pop of the shallow right center field. Well, it's drifting back now. Everett's going to make the play, and that's out number 2 here in inning number 8. Well, friends, join the Cubs for the 1998 Walk of Fame induction Friday, August 21st. This year, Cubs fans voted in Wrigley Field favorites Andre Dawson, Bill Buckner, and Rogers Hornsby. They'll be honored during a pregame ceremony at 1:45. This year's Walk of Fame celebration is presented by Ticketmaster.
We know 2 of 3 will be there.
And the other in spirit, perhaps. Here's Kerry Wood. The pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1. Florida got a run in San Francisco in the top of the 1st inning. Marlins trying to help the Cubs out in the wild card race. Barry Bonds again won't play in that ball game, serving the 3rd and final game of his 3-game suspension. Phillies over Colorado 7-1. Pirates leading the Cardinals 3-1. They head to the 9th in St. Louis. And Brett Tomko beat Montreal 8-1 today. The 1-0. Wood right back up the middle, off the pitcher's left wrist. Barry at third, throws to first in time. It Spires at third. Woods retired. 1-5-3. What a play. That ball ticketed for center field, but Wood retired. Absolutely magnificent. 8 innings of work. He has struck out 9 Cubs. The only blemish, the solo home run he gave up to Sammy Sosa. And you love to see the manager, Larry Dierker, giving his right-hander a big pat on the back. It was much deserved today.
Well, there's no doubt that Bergman was absolutely as tough as Kerry Wood. And he took that ground ball right off his hand. Billy Spires made a great play to get out of the inning. So now it will be Dave Clark, a former Cub, who will come on there taking a look at the left hand of Bergman, who was brilliant. He gave up 4 hits. He didn't walk anybody. And he was ahead of the Cub hitters all day. So Dave Clark comes up. And we know that he is a high fastball hitter. Although he's struggled at the beginning of the year, he's starting to come on lately.
Boy, has he ever since the All-Star break. 7 for his last 19 as a pinch hitter. So Bergman with a 9 strikeout game. Kerry Wood has struck out 9 men for the Cubs. And now we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. You've got Clark, Biggio, and then Spires for the Astros in the 8th. The Cubs will have the top of their order due up in the 9th.
The Astro fans are used to this team winning in their last at bat and coming from behind. They have come from behind, although not that all far behind. The Cubs took a 1-0 lead in the 4th. The Astros tied it in the 5th, and we are frozen at 1-1.
Wood's first pitch is outside to Clark. Ball 1. Carry around the 95-96 pitch mark so far in this ball game. He's pitched to Jem himself. Took something off. Boy, that's not fair. 1-1.
Well, knowing that Clark will probably be geared up for the fastball, he threw a straight change, one of the few he's thrown today.
Clark digs back in. He's the lone left-hander available on the Astro bench.
And you've got Mike Magnante throwing in the bullpen.
Breaking ball fouled right back off his body. 1-2.
The Cubs will go to the top of the order in the 9th inning with Morandini, Grace, and Sosa. And there's a look at Mike Magnante. He was a man called on to help close when Billy Wagner went on the disabled list. Magnante picked up a couple of saves. Jay Powell, acquired from Florida, picked up a few saves.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10 from Wood. He just blew Clark right away right there, and 1 down in the 8th.
Kerry has some support here in the Dome, as the eyes of Texas have certainly smiled upon this young man. He fires a bullet of a fastball, keeps it out away from Clark. He just can't catch up to it up there. I would be careful inside to Biggio here, because 97-mile-an-hour fastball or not, he will try to get hit representing the winning run if you keep it inside.
7th time in his rookie season Wood has struck out 10 hitters or more, but now you've got Biggio, and you see that left arm all armored up, for his propensity is to dive in at the baseball in that right-hand box, and Wood misses ball 1.
Tyler looking up at Craig Biggio to see if he might be peeking back for location. And he looks right at him again.
Breaking ball of beauty. That's one of the unwritten rules. You're not supposed to do that if you're a hitter.
No, you're not. But it has been done and will continue to be done on occasion. Tyler taking a look at the feet of Biggio to see if he might be sneaking up on the plate somewhat.
One ball, 1 strike. Bouncing ball high, hop to short. Blauser backs up. Into the outfield, cut. High throw. Biggio aboard, 1 out.
Well, Jeff got under that throw, and for some reason he didn't stay over the top of it. It goes as an error on Blauser. And now you've got their premier base runner representing the go-ahead run. And Jeff Blauser picks up an error. This is his 13th. It's a relatively easy play if you stay on top of the throw, but you see Blauser underneath. The ball sails, and Biggio, who hustles on everything, beat the play at first.
So you got to be careful here. He's stolen 37 bases in 42 tries. He represents the go-ahead run for the Astros in the 8th. Bill Spires, the batter, is 0 for 3.
Base stealers have only been successful 50% of the time against Kerry Wood, so he's done a much better job in the last few months of holding runners close and giving his catchers a chance.
Ball 1 inside.
Biggio was on in the 1st inning. They elected not to bunt him over. He elected not to run. Everett was on in the 2nd inning, another base runner. He elected not to bunt him over, and he elected not to run. I don't think the Cubs will be as lucky here with Biggio.
He measures off his lead at first. Big lead by Biggio. Not going. Pitch swung on, popped up out of play. Even count, a ball and a strike. Giants have gotten 2 in the first against the Marlins. Orel Hershiser pitching for San Francisco. It's a 2-1 game. Here it's 1-1 in the 8th. Pride at Clemson University. Bill Spires digging in, and you see Biggio very successful when he tries to swipe a bag. A little bit of a bigger lead over at first. And Wood sends him diving back safely. The Cubs with a run on 4 hits. Blauser has made the game's only error. Houston 1 run, 3 hits. No errors.
If you can guess breaking ball, that's the time to try to run. A lot of managers at 1-1 will call a pitch out. Let's see. That's the fastball in. It gives Tyler a good shot to throw it.
Not going. Pitch fouled out of play. Now he's got him set up for the strikeout with Derek Bell waiting on deck, and he has had very little contact against Kerry Wood. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Game tied at 1. We're in the 8th inning. This one has been as good as any game we've seen on this road trip.
Well, last night's was just a wonderful baseball game with a terrible ending, but they had the folks on their seats the entire game.
Snap throw to first, and Biggio is back standing. Well, Wood is a guy you've mentioned before. Takes him a little time to uncork the baseball.
Well, he's gotten better at it lately. He took a lot more time early in the season. But if you're just at 50% on base stealing success, that's very good. The league's right around 71% or so.
1-2. Foot on the carpet, not going. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I guess that's the sign of how good a lead a guy has on the artificial surface. If he gets that right foot out on the turf, he feels like he's got the pitcher measured pretty well. So far, Biggio hasn't been quite that liberal in gaining his lead at first base.
This would be a good pitch to run if you're Craig Biggio. We'll take a look in. It's a fastball. And you got to figure Tyler would like to call a breaking ball here because he thinks a breaking ball would strike him out. But he's calling a fastball because it's going to give him a better pitch to throw if Biggio is going. Get it again. Now he calls the curve.
2 balls, 2 strikes, runner goes. Pitch swing, or no swing. It's inside. Throw to second is not in time. He steals second base.
He picked a good pitch because it was the curveball. And Biggio in scoring position. And it's stolen base number 38. Gets a decent but not great jump. And he is indeed safe at second. The tag on the posterior, the hand was in, and a good call by Charlie Relaford. And unfortunately, that curveball swept low and out of the zone. And now Tyler Houston out to talk with Kerry Wood because they're going to go through a different set of signs late in the game.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Spires has worked the count full. Jim Riggleman pacing the Cub dugout. Wood has had a magnificent game, but the error has put the go-ahead run on base for the Astros. Derek Bell waiting on deck. If Spires can't come through, Bell will be the next obstacle for Wood and the Cubs. 1-1, you see the score and the situation. Breaking ball pulled toward the Astro dugout. The Mets send Nomo to the mound against Omar Dahl in Arizona later on tonight. The Mets with a half-game lead over the Cubs in the wild card. The Cubs trying to put a little pressure back on New York by winning this ball game in the Dome. Now the Cub bullpen starts to get busy as Wood's pitch count mounting here in the 8th. Again, the 3-2. Here it is. Breaking ball again, fouled into the dugout this time.
This has been a good piece of hitting by Billy Spires. He's fouled off a couple of great breaking balls at 3-2. It's Heredia and Karshner, the result of 2 late season trades in middle relief, warming up in the pen.
3-2. Biggio with great speed at second base. Wood sets the pitch. Spires not going easily here. An error, a stolen base, as the Cub pen works down the left field line. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High pop to left this time and into the seats.
Well, if Biggio wants to steal third, they're absolutely giving it to him. There's nobody, not Blauser or Morandini, paying any attention to Biggio. And it really comes into play if you don't get Spires. So I would like to see somebody hold him close.
The Pirates have added a run in St. Louis. A Tony Womack double makes it 4-1 Pittsburgh. We've got problems of our own right here, though. Spires won't cooperate. He's 0 for 3, but really battling, grinding out a great at bat in the 8th inning. Payoff. Strike 3 called on a changeup. 2 down. What a gutsy pitch by Wood for strikeout number 11.
Spires can't believe it. He thought it was low and inside. I think he got fooled on it. We'll take another look at it and watch the location. Gary goes to the change, and it was good enough. Billy Spires jumping up and down. It came in right at the knee, as you saw by that angle, and it had plenty of the plate. So a good pitch in a great situation, and 11 strikeouts on 112 pitches with a go-ahead run out at second base, and a man you've retired easily all day long in Derek Bell.
But don't take anything for granted against this ball club. Man, man. The Astros just keep sending them at you, and Wood keeps setting them down. Bell backs away from the breaking ball. 0-1. Houston may have been crossed up. 0-1. Bell has grounded to second. He's flied to center. As Wood and Bergman have battled into a 20 strikeout duel. The pitch way high, overthrew that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Matt Galante, the man who's the right-hand man of Larry Dierker, sitting next to him, and he's done a nice job, along with Larry, managing this ball club.
Fastball blew it right by him. 1-2. How about that? 115th pitch of the game, clocked at 98 miles per hour.
Well, whatever Kerry Wood has, he's going to show it to Derek Bell. He can go with a high fastball, but I don't think Bell can touch the breaking ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The runner goes to third. Wild pitch. Biggio rounds third, and he'll stop there. Houston had trouble picking it up, but no advance by Biggio. Oh, what a break.
I think they're giving him a stolen base because he was running. And that's why I'm kind of surprised he didn't run on the at-bat before to Spires, because that would have scored the run. Instead, he moves to third base. Biggio is going, and Tyler in an effort to try to throw it, and you see they've been giving that to him for 2 at-bats now. He just did take third and almost came home.
So now the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Wood will work off the line. Bell's going to have to dig in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 1-1 game. A check of the runner. The rock, the delivery. Breaking ball hit hard to short. Blauser's got it. Kohlheim throws to first in time. And the inning is over. Kerry Wood pitches around the Blauser error. And the duel continues through 8. It's 1-1 in Houston.
today after the boys from the north side take care of business. Catch the highlights. It's Cubs Extra on CLTV.
Dead arm, my foot. He's pitched a great ball game today. Kerry Wood has been magnificent as we look at our Ameritech playbook.
This one getting away. And this one being caught. Jeff Blauser on a one hop. And he makes the play that gets Kerry Wood and the Cubs out of the 8th inning with a 1-1 tie. And that looks like it's going to be it for Kerry Wood. But it's Mike Magnante against Morandini, Grace, and Sosa as we move to the top of the 9th.
Well, that's one advantage this Houston team has. They have a plethora of left-handed relief pitching. They had to send C.J. Nitkowski down to the minor leagues, not because he had bad numbers, but he had options left. And Magnante, one of 3 they have down there. Magnante, Miller, and of course Billy Wagner, their closer. 1 ball, 1 strike to Morandini, who singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3 on the day. A 1-1 game in the 9th. And that's right through there, 1-2.
Mickey has never seen Mike Magnante. But Mark Grace has, and he's 1 for 2 against him.
And a right-hander up in their bullpen, probably to face Sosa should anyone reach here. But we shall see. They've got Henry Rodriguez and Lance Johnson behind Sammy. 1 and 2. Nobody on or out. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. 21 strikeouts combined in the game.
Boy, Mickey is hot. He is hot at Paul Schreiber.
He wasn't complaining about the strikeout pitch, but the second one he thought was high.
You don't see Mickey argue too much. He usually goes about his business in a very professional manner, but that is one unhappy young second baseman. We'll take a look at this one. That looked like it was just a little outside.
So here's Grace. He bats with the bases empty and 1 out. I think reading Mickey's lips, he said not that ball, but the ball before that was the one he was complaining about. One ball, no strikes. It's fouled away. Reading Mickey's lips on that particular replay, you can tell he was unhappy. 1-1 the count.
Pretty much said, I'm not sure you had that one right, Paul.
Something like that. Close enough. The 1-1 is low. 2 balls and a strike. 1-4-1 for the Cubs. 1-3-0 for the Astros. He took something off and he missed with it. 3 balls and a strike with Sammy Sosa waiting on deck.
Rod Beck loosening in the pen. It's going to be Bagwell, Alou, and Everett in the 9th for the Astros. The Cubs would love to push one across here.
Ball 4, a 1-out walk to the left-hander. And now you've got to face Sosa.
And here comes Larry Dierker, and he's not going to face him with Mike Magnante.
So Magnante works a third of
Nació en Estados Unidos, pero hoy tiene sabor latino. Desde 1876, simplemente Budweiser.
Will be decided by Sosa, Rodriguez, or Johnson against Henry here in the 9th. He's in line to win this ball game. He's been a dandy performer, as has been Sammy Sosa. His home run, the only run the Cubs have scored. It ties him with Mark McGwire for the major league lead.
Sammy, the reason why we're at 1-1, and he's going to try to untie it against Henry, who's 8-2, 2.87 ERA on for the 45th time. He's given up a whopping 9 home runs, however, in 53 1/3 innings. 25 walks, 42 strikeouts. And the reason why he has won 8 games is Houston has won those 8 games in their last at bat, and Henry has been around long enough to be the beneficiary of some pretty good offense. But first, He's got to get through Sammy, who's never had a hit against him in 6 at-bats. But Henry Rodriguez certainly has, and he's in the on-deck circle. Henry is 2 for 3 against him, so the Henry-Henry matchup favors the Cubs.
By the way, the Yankees just beat Texas 6-5. The Yankees go back to 60 games above 500. They're 90-30 on the year. Bernie Williams hit a game-winning homer off Xavier Hernandez. You know, there's 16 teams in baseball that don't even have 60 wins this year. The Yankees are 60 over 500, 90-30. 1 ball, no strikes to Sosa. Mark Grace at first in a 1-1 game.
It looks like if the Cubs don't score, they'll bring in Karshner. If they do, it'll go to Beck.
1-0 to Sammy Sosa. Grace a good lead at first. The pitch. Swung on, hit right up the elevator shaft. Left side. Foul ground. Spires has a play. Battles the window panes. Puts it away, 2 down.
And they went in with a game plan to throw up and in everything to Sammy. And he popped it straight up, and Spires stayed right with it.
So 2 outs, runner at first, and friends, this Tuesday it'll be Sony night at Wrigley Field. Exciting Sony products will be given away throughout the game, including a Walkman, a Discman, and a Sony PlayStation. You get the Cubs like. It's Henry against Henry. And he looks at strike 1.
Past 44 games, Henry has 17 homers and 38 driven in. So Henry, who's been known to have cool second halves, that has not been the case this year.
Waves at that ball in the dirt. Nothing in 2.
Told you about the matchup in the Henry-Henry sweepstakes, 2 for 3. But Lance Johnson in the on-deck circle, if Henry can keep it alive. And a friendly 325 feet down the line in right. If you pull it in this park, you can get it out easily.
The 0-2 pitch. Misses. 1-2. Well, this place didn't used to be so easy to hit the ball out. Remember, in the old days, you had to hit it over the auxiliary scoreboards in right field.
It was absolutely a dead ballpark. Not so anymore.
1 ball, 2 strikes in the 9th. The pitch. Low. 2-2. I was doing Braves games back in 1991 when this place was like that. The Braves had to play the Astros, I think 6 of the last 9 games, had to beat them down the stretch in order to win the division that year. And Luis Gonzalez hit a rocket off one of those scoreboards. It was only a ground rule double. And the Braves held on to win a game in like 15 innings, 3-2. It was unbelievable. Pitch is high, and the count moves full, 3-2. So Grace will get a head start now.
Well, if you have confidence in your breaking ball, that's what you should throw Henry. The advantage is if you double, Mark Grace will score because he's going to be off to the races. Pretty good arms in the outfield, however, all the way around, and they're a lot deeper than normal.
Payoff pitch. There goes Grace. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. The Astros trying to win their 22nd game of the year in their final at bat as Matt Karchner takes over.
Prima, ¿quién era? Era Fabián Zárate.
know we can play with them. If we're not convinced of that these last couple of days, then we don't belong in a uniform, because we have played good baseball against this club. Mulholland specifically just mentioned to him the positive that look, we're in that ball game in the 11th inning because you did such a great job for us holding the score down against a very tough right-hand hitting lineup. It was a tough challenge for him. He was up to the challenge. A fluke play and we lose the ball game, but you know, pitchers are judged on pitching, and he pitched well. He didn't throw the ball to first very well, but he pitched well.
And what you have to respect and like about Terry Mulholland, and why his teammates like him so much, and why this particular broadcaster likes him so much, he's a stand-up guy. He's a man's man. And he's not afraid of the challenge at all.
He did not dodge the reporters at all. He told them exactly what happened. It was a terrible play. No excuses.
Alou rips a shot right to third. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Bagwell flies to center. Alou lines to third. And before Carl Everett bats, let's pause quickly for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
With Steve Stone, Chip Carey from the Astrodome in Houston. The Astros and the Cubs tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Carl Everett has been a royal pain in today's ball game. He's singled, he's doubled, he scored the lone Houston run, and he has drawn one of 2 Kerry Wood walks in the ball game today. That ball hit hard to right. Sammy drifting back at the edge of the track. Basket catch. And on 3 pitches, the Astros are retired in the bottom of the 9th inning. On to bonus panels we go. Johnson, Hernandez, and Houston in a 1-1 game.
And so he is certainly back on track, and we'll look forward to his next start. And it should be, I believe, head-to-head against the big unit and these same Houston Astros. But this time it'll be in our ballpark back in Chicago. And there he is, Randy Johnson. The Cubs have missed him in this series.
Shucks, I was really hoping we'd.
And the Phillies are very happy to get to see him again. He shut them out last time, but this time it'll be in Philadelphia. So it'll be Johnson, Hernandez, and Houston against Doug Henry as the Cubs try to win this ball game, losing one in extra innings last night, and they're in extra innings again here today.
So on to the 10th we go. And the 1 dog, Lance Johnson, 1 for 3 on the day. His average at 201 on the year. The pitch misses high. Pirates haven't been able to finish off the Cardinals quite yet. St. Louis still batting. And now it is a final. 4-1. Pittsburgh just beat the Cardinals at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Matt Morris took the loss. Francisco Cordova won his 4-1 decision today. Giants still lead the Marlins 2-1 in the 3rd.
Extra innings, the Astros 7-8, the Cubs 8-8.
2 balls and a strike.
With the Astros, they've been very good at home at 4-2 and very bad on the road at 3-6.
The Astros and Cubs, another battle royal in the dome. Slapped out of play and fouled. 2-2.
The most unusual lineup today for Jim Riggleman, as in an effort to get more base runners on for Sammy Sosa, he led off with Morandini and had Grace in the 2 spot. Mark responded by getting on twice. Mickey got on once. And Lance Johnson, who had very good numbers against Sean Bergman, was in the number 5 spot, and he's 1 for 3.
But I wouldn't imagine this is a lineup we're going to see with any great frequency. Slap toward the shortstop. Gutierrez surrounds it and makes a good throw to first in time for out number 1. First time all year Mark Grace has batted second. Only the 3rd time Morandini's been the Cub leadoff man. Henry Rodriguez batting cleanup for the 5th time, and the first time for Lance Johnson batting 5th. So Jimmy really did shuffle the order a bit, trying to give Sosa some more chances, as you mentioned.
Well, you can understand it because the on-base percentage for Mark Grace was .414 coming in. The on-base percentage for Mickey Morandini was .403. And so you got your 2 highest on-base percentage guys at the top ahead of Sosa. So you figure to score some runs with this alignment. But Sean Bergman was just awfully tough today. This was a great pitcher's duel between Kerry Wood and Sean Bergman. And it continues into the 10th.
Jose Hernandez has the golden sombrero working. He struck out 3 times today. All 3 times he struck out swinging. He's had a 4 for 28 road trip. That's a 143 batting average. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right through there, 1-2.
Well, that's when you know you're scuffling, because earlier in the season when Jose was hot, he would never take a fastball down the middle, but he's seen so many breaking balls today. He kind of expected to see another one and instead got the 1 pitch that he would love to have back again. And I think he's going to have to see another breaking ball here.
Yeah, by the time you want it, it's too late. 1-2, bases clear, 1 out. In the dirt, he didn't offer at that ball. It's 2-2. Later on tonight, the Braves will battle the Dodgers. Denny Nagel against Darren Dreifert. And as we've told you a couple of times, Omar Dahl, the tough left-hander, will battle Hideo Nomo and the New York Mets down at the Bank One ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona. The Cubs came in a half game behind the Mets in the wild card race. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts for Jose in the game. And for Henry, it's 4 up, 4 down. And don't forget, an off day tomorrow. Then Tuesday, the Cardinals come into town. A night game. We'll have it for you here on WGN. We've added 4 games to our telecast schedule, including today's. Wednesday's a game against the Redbirds, also on WGN. Then August 24th against the Astros, a 1 o'clock start here on WGN. So join us for all of those exciting games, this time from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. The Cardinals in town, the Giants in town, then the Astros, and then we're on the road again to Cincinnati and to Colorado. 1-0. Ripped into right field for a base hit with 2 outs. Houston aboard with his first hit of the day. And it's the 5th Cubs safety of the ball game. And now Jeff Blauser, the Cub batter. Jeff 0 for 3. He's popped to third. He's struck out looking, and he's flied to center.
Jeff has had a couple of big home runs on this trip. And now the bullpen up and going once again, because if the Cubs score, they are going to go to Rod Beck. So you got Brant Brown in the on-deck circle if Jeff can keep it alive.
Runner at first, 2 outs. The pitch, a strike. 0-1.
The bullpen up and going for the Houston Astros also. Looks like Miller, the other left-hander.
Yeah, Wagner went 2 innings last night. Hope we don't have to see him until Houston comes back to Chicago. And then only with him sitting on that bullpen bench. Foul back by Blauser. He's down to his last strike, 0-2.
I just don't think that he wants to use Billy Wagner today after the outing last night. If he didn't have a 9-game lead, he might think about it, but he knows that the season will not be lost today one way or the other. And there's a look at Billy Wagner.
And as good a pitcher as he is, he's an even nicer young man. 0-2. Breaking ball made him look silly. Wow. Henry has struck out 3 men in an inning and 2/3, and the Cubs 2-out hit by Houston wasted in the 10th. On we go to the bottom half. In a 1-1.
It's the search of man for himself.
One of the best teams in baseball this year in winning games late. They have broken 21 teams' hearts by winning games in their last at bat on the year. And it has gotten breezier as the day has gone on. They've cranked the air conditioning up to high here. That should help Karchner's fastball pick up an extra 1/4 mile an hour as he fires it homeward here in the dome. 1-0.
If Sabio gets on, we'll undoubtedly see a pinch runner for him. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
He's 0 for 2 with a walk today, and he check swings and rolls it right back to the mound. Karchner will make a good strong throw to first, and there's out number 1.
4 straight retired by Matt Karchner.
Now, I always like to kid Andy McPhail about the air conditioning in the domes. I'm firmly convinced, I'm just spreading this conspiracy myself, that in the '91 World Series, when the Twins were up, the air conditioning was either off or blowing out, and when the Braves, for whom I was working at the time, were hitting, the air conditioning was blowing straight in at hurricane force.
Oh, I'm sure that that's exactly what happened.
Jack Morris and those guys didn't have anything to do with it, or Kirby Puckett. What a great World Series that was, as the Twins beat the Braves in 7 classic games. A high fly ball off the bat of Gutierrez into center field. Johnson tracks that down. Tell you what, the Astros are certainly making it very easy on Karchner.
Well,
they've made 5 outs on 6 pitches.
And it's Pete Incaviglia will come on to pinch hit with only one thing on his mind, and that is hit the ball out of the park. And to keep him in the park, you throw him a steady diet of sliders.
Funny story about Incaviglia. When he was called up from AAA, the call came very early in the morning, and Casey Candell, who was Inky's teammate down at AAA, had to make sure that it wasn't a practical joke foisted upon him. by the second baseman. Incaviglia was staring at the phone almost in disbelief, we are told, when he got the call, because he wasn't sure if Candel was pulling his leg or not. He wasn't. He's up here and he's got a chance to help the Astros today. Here's that slider.
Just keep throwing him sliders, and Inky usually will pull off the ball and pretty much get himself out. But he is tremendously strong.
No balls and a strike. That one skips away from Houston. And the count evens 1-1. Phillies pounding Colorado 8-2. Bobby Estelea, the young catching phenom for the Phillies, has hit a grand slam in that game. Marlins still trailing at the Giants 2-1 after 3, and they're underway in San Diego, scoreless after 1 between the Padres and the Brewers. 1-1. Popped up out of play.
Looked like Matt might have hung that, and he got away with it. That was up in the eyes of Incaviglia, but he fouled it straight back. So now one slider, and we'll move to the 11th. The Astro bullpen up and going.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out the pitch. Got him with a fastball, and the inning is over. How about Matt Karchner? 2 perfect innings of sterling relief, and we live to battle to the 11th inning.
How you doing, Sarge? Okay, folks, what'll it be? What would you like, sweetheart?
A Pepsi, please.
Sorry, we only have Coke. Now you've done it.
You're sorry? Not half as sorry as you're gonna be. I ordered a Pepsi, pal.
She's got a mind of her own.
What's with this guy?
Look, I just thought...
You thought? What you really thought was that I don't know the difference between Pepsi and a Coke, right?
Here's your Pepsi.
Thank you. Mmm.
Kids say the darndest things.
What are you looking at?
I like this place.
Fascination, I know, seeing you alone with the moonlight gone. Then I touched your hand, and next moment I kissed you.
This couple danced the night away every Friday for 37 years. ComEd, what do you do with your power?
John Lithgow performs the Discover Card Dial-Along song.
An extemporaneous piece.
Provided for your dialing pleasure while you call 1-800-IT-PAYS-2 and apply for your Discover Card, the card with the cashback bonus award that always pays you back.
That was a nice surprise.
And that's music to everyone's ears. It pays to Discover. To apply, call 1-800-IT-PAYS-2. Accepted where you see the Novus sign.
Good crowd on hand today at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. We go to the 11th inning. A new pitcher for the Stros. It'll be right-hander Jay Powell. And Brad Brown will bat for Matt Karchner, who turned in 2 perfect innings of Cub relief.
There are the numbers overall for Powell. 4-4, 3.50 ERA, on for the 48th time with 4 saves. Now, he's had control problems at times, and for Houston, since coming over from Florida, his ERA 2.04 in 15 appearances, 17 2/3 innings. He's walked 8, fanned 19, and he'll face 3 left-handers: Brown, Morandini, and Grayson. If anybody gets on, Sammy Sosa, as Jim Riggleman would love to see his team push across at least a run here and put a little pressure on the Astros.
So Brown, Morandini, and Grace here in the 11th inning. In this particular set of circumstances, very similar to how the Cubs have played most of this year. You have Brown, who's been the leadoff man. Morandini's been the number 2 guy. Mark Grace from time to time has been the number 3 hitter for the Cubs. So we'll see if that is able to scratch across the go-ahead run here in the 11th inning. Jay Powell takes the mound for the Astros, the 4th pitcher of the game for Larry Dierker. And Brown hits a rocket up the middle for a base hit. That might roll to the wall. Brown on his way to second. The ball knocked down in center by Everett. And Brown a leadoff double here in the 11th inning.
You got some pretty lofty numbers by Cub hitters against Jay Powell, and that is a promising start to the 11th as Brant Brown picks on a first ball fastball and drives it into the gap, and with good speed races into second base, and he represents the go-ahead run.
How about the play by Everett to slide to knock that ball down, kept it in front of him, held Brown to a double. But now a world of opportunities exist with Morandini, then Grace, then Sosa to crack this game open here in the 11th inning. And now Billy Wagner. Well, it's not Wagner, it's Trevor Miller again down in the Astro bullpen. Morandini foul tips strike one. 1-1 in the 11th. A much bigger game for the Cubs than it is for the Astros.
Well, you win this one in extra innings on the road. You got a lot of momentum going into that homestand.
Again, Mickey fouls it away. 0-2. American League Finals. Minnesota beat Boston 6-3. Detroit over Oakland 6-4. Todd Jones got the save in that game. Anaheim beaten at Toronto 6-4. Yankees got a game-winning homer from Bernie Williams in the 9th. 6-5. They beat Texas. And the White Sox. Keith Folk beat the Mariners 5-3 today. Bill Seamus got the save. A 1-1 tilt at the Dome in Houston, Texas.
Mickey will be doing everything he can now to try to pull the ball.
Tough to pull that pitch. It almost hit him. 1-2. Sammy Sosa hit his 47th home run in the 4th inning. That gave the Cubs a 1-0 lead. The Astros tied it on a sacrifice fly from Ricky Gutierrez in the 5th. We've battled through 6 scoreless innings since. 1-1 game. A 1-2. Pulled to the right side. Bagwell. He's going to third. Brown in a rundown. The throw low and dropped. Brown trying to stay in it long enough for Morandini to reach second. He's done that. What a job by Brown to allow Morandini to move into scoring position.
Well, Bagwell's had some interesting decisions in this one, and the Astros do not play this rundown very well. And you're right, Chip. A very good rundown for Brant Brown. Bagwell gets it across, and Brownie knows he's got to stay hung up long enough for Morandini to get to second base. A bad throw, and by the time they do corral it, Mickey runs to second base, and Brownie gets held up long enough and does his job.
3-5, 6-5, 6 on the fielder's choice. That retires Brown, and now a hit by Grace or Sosa still could put the Cubs in front. So Morandini is at second. That's the man the Cubs would love to see pop one. They wouldn't mind seeing Mark Grace rip one here either. Mark is 1 for 3 with a double in the game. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. Low. 2-0.
Remember, Derek Bell has a very good arm in right field, and on a hard hit ball that way, it's going to be tough for Mickey to score. It will be a difficult decision for Tom Gamboa on whether to send him with Sosa due up next.
Jay Powell digging in. The 2-0 is low. 3-0.